Hey everyone, welcome to the Cozy Girl Fancy Nails podcast. I'm your host, Michaela. Yes, I'm wearing the same outfit as I did in episode 5, but that's because this is only for you and I'm recording it in the same day. Literally just finished recording the second one. The first one. What the heck? So, with all that being said, it has been crazy, y'all. And I have been so I don't know. I've been wanting to put my 100% into this, but sometimes you just get drained, and it's like I love doing this. I would not trade it for the world, but sometimes it is a lot, and I was just so drained, and I didn't know like what I should or shouldn't be doing. I didn't know what I should set down or put down. It was a lot, and this being in our topic for today as what how to make a business, or I don't know how I'm going to title this yet, but just business stuff um in general. uh Running a business is like your mind thinks about it all the time, and I always have ideas. And in my last podcast I said I have this notebook that I have that I just write my ideas down and just hope that I can, bring them to fruition. What the heck is that word? Bring them into doing them. So one of the things is this podcast. I 110% wrote this podcast, the YouTube channel, and my masterclass down in the beginning of my career, because I knew that was something that I eventually wanted to do. I just needed the right time to do it. And if I started this at any other point, it would have been inconsistent. It would have been sloppy. It wouldn't have looked as nice as it does, because I have a beautiful camera that I bought just specifically for this. I have this desk, this setup, all of this is specifically for this. I bought this and it took me time to rack up to here. But it still is draining and it still is a lot. So don't be discouraged. You got this. And you're doing great. Just want to put that out there for you. But I don't have any notes. I don't have anything that I prepared for this. I just know I've heard y'all talk about wanting kind of more specifics about, I don't even know how I put this before, but you wanted more specifics on um how to start a business, how to run a business, and all of those things, and especially a press-on business, because most of you in here are press-on artists, which hello to my fellow press-on artists. But if you are transitioning into being a nail technician and stuff like that, this is good information to have too. So this is just all from my personal point of view and watching as I do things. I come from a very entrepreneurial family. My brother is a musician, and my husband does video work. My father-in-law does, I don't know, wiring. I'll just say that. But all these people own their own businesses. And then me, obviously, doing nails. And my sister-in-law, she does makeup. I have friends that do, one is a stylist, clothing stylist, which she'd probably be very disappointed that I'm wearing a men's XXL shirt from Goodwill, because I wanted a muscle thing because I have no guns. Um, but yeah, and then I have somebody who actually helped start my locks. She parted my hair like a queen, and love that. But anyways, I'm surrounded by entrepreneurial people. There's a lot of small businesses that I'm around and that I support, and just looking at how all of these different businesses are run, there's a lot of different ways you can do things. And so that's why I wanted to come at this in the way of how I do it. And that way you guys can take with it what you want. and figure out what works best for you. That is what I do. Um, and yeah, I definitely 100% think that I could be wrong. You have your opinions, I have mine. I think that us as press on artists need to have some originality in our businesses. I feel like a lot of our things are the same. Um, and this is putting me into that too. This is not me saying, like, you know, this is y'all and I'm out, I'm over here. That's not me. I'm in this too. I need some originality to my business. And that's why I wanted to start this podcast and my YouTube channel and like start branching out, because I feel like the press on, there's only so much you can do, but I feel like the press on community has a lot of the same things. It's just like finding somebody who you like, I guess. And so to bring some originality, you have to bring your personality, you have to bring um, your ideas, you have to uh, be okay with being looked over, because you don't do things the same way someone else does. I feel like a lot of us have the same pricing, the same method of ordering, the same packaging, the same cards, the same everything. We have the same everything. And like I said, there's only so much you can do, but bringing the originality to your business is what we, I think, as the press on community need to work on. And so for me and my business, I decided that I was going to bring my face to my business and I was going to be personable. And I told my husband that I didn't want to get so big that I couldn't talk to the people that were ordering from me or that were asking me questions or whatever. I wanted to be able to do all of that. Now, of course, I can't control what the internet does. If I just blow up one day and I have a million followers on all platforms, like obviously I'm not going to be able to handle that. But that's not my goal in this. My goal is to be personable. I want to talk to you. I want you to know me. I want to kiki. I keep saying that word and then I follow it by I'm too old to say that. But um anyways, so I want to do all of those things. And that to me is what brings the originality to my business. I'm not doing it because I want to make a living off of it. Now, I do want to make a living off of it, but that's not my goal and why I want my business to be what it is. My business is to have somebody who is personable, a personable artist, and you can come and talk to me. You can ask me questions. You can say, hey, like, I want acrylics, but why would you not recommend them? Or I want acrylics, will you do them? And like tell me about them or whatever. I want that. And so that's kind of how I decided. It was not when I first started my business, but a little bit after that I decided, you know what? I'm going to put my face into my business and I'm going to start being personable and I'm going to start um, just being myself. And being an introvert, I will tell you, social media is probably one of the best things for introverts. And the reason I say that is because for the most part, like right now, I am recording by myself. Nobody's here. Nobody can hear me. And I feel like I can just do whatever I want, be myself. In person, I'm a little bit more reserved. I'm a little bit more like, okay, I don't want this like person to think that I don't want to talk to them. Not that I like talking to people, but it's not on the forefront of my mind every day. I'm not thinking, oh, I wish I could talk to somebody right now. I'm not that person. Um, but social media has helped me break out of that shell to where now when I'm in person, I'm still a little bit reserved, but I'm still what you would see on camera in person. Like I might be a little bit more reserved and it might take me a minute to like warm up to you, but once I do, I do. And then we're like BFFs and I will be myself to you for the rest of your life. Um, but social media help break me out of that. And so as a business owner, I realized for me, um, my social media was important. It was going to be important for me to stay on top of it. It was going to be important for me to build a good audience to where I could then move to YouTube and bring that audience with me. Although now I feel like YouTube, my YouTube audience is growing a little quicker and faster and a little bit more of a community than Instagram, which is totally fine with me. Um, but it just means I have to change some things. So, but with all that being said, I feel like I'm just rambling. So I'm going to start from like the basics. And like I said, creating a plan. I had a plan to do this and it took me a while, but I did it finally. But I also needed to set goals. And so for this to happen, goals had to be met, which meant that when I first started, I had a budget that I was going to put into my business, and there were things that I needed to buy. So when a mistake that I made was buying a billion tips that nobody was going to wear. I bought medium and long, and everybody wanted short and extra short. I am a long nail person, and so I thought, okay, I'm just going to buy medium and long because when people get their nails done, you would think that they would want them long. You would think that they wouldn't want it under, like, that top part of their nail, that they would want to have a little tap tap to them. But that was not the case. So, doing research, having a plan, and writing down goals are all things that you should do when starting a business. Now, for me, and I know a couple of other of you are going to become nail techs and are transitioning, I had to start writing a plan down for that as well. It's not just going in blind and hoping when you come out that you just make a bunch of money. That does not work. I know I actually followed somebody who was a press on nail artist, went to school, became a nail tech, and quit because she was like, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to start a business. I didn't know what clientele to cater to. I didn't know like what I wanted to do. And so having those plans and having things written down is so, so, so important. And I am such a paper and pen person that I literally have a physical notebook for this business that I write down my ideas and stuff because I need to be able to go back and look and say, okay, now's the time to do this. Now's not the time to do this. I don't think I'm ever going to do this. I don't want to do it anymore. Things like that. You want to make sure that you have that because if you just have stuff all floating around in your brain, it gets confusing. And the reason I don't like to use my phone for that type of stuff is because my phone it brings so much like anxiety, I guess. Like bouncing from social media page to social media page to having content after content, my camera roll looking a mess, my notifications everywhere. It gives me so much anxiety. So to like put my phone to the side and say, okay, here's pen and paper where I can write on the top my ideas and then flip the page and know like, okay, if I get another one, I can flip back and write it down. And it's not this like overwhelming thing going on in your head. It literally, guys, I think that is what takes me out a lot. What is so overwhelming to me is the phone and the social media and all the different things you have to do. And so, yeah, after you have written a plan, you've written some goals, and I forgot the third thing I said, but you heard it. After you do those things, you're then going to want to budget. And please, please, please watch my pricing podcast that I posted on YouTube or you can listen to it as well on other things. But please listen to that because that's going to be a part of your budgeting system. Because you're going to want to price your things thoroughly, and you're also going to want to you're going to want to see what's the most important thing to you. For me, starting was the tips, and that's why right off the gate, I started with the Prey tips. I started with the Prey because I knew they were the best. I did my research, I think that was the third thing I said, was doing my research and figuring out, okay, how do I want to start this business? What do I want to do for this business that is going to be different um, than anybody else? So I decided that I was going to just jump in full force with the Apres tips. And to this day, 3 years later, I still swear by Apres. And I know there's some controversy about them, but I swear by their tips. I swear by their Gel X system. I swear by their polishes. It's good. It is good. And so I swear by it. Um, so yeah, I started off with that. And then where I cut some money was buying Beatles boxes, and the Beatles, like, it comes with like 20 polishes. I think I bought 3 of them, so I spent $60 on polishes, where this right here, these 3 Madame Glam bottles were, it would be like close to $70 for 3. So I decided I'm going to start with Beatles, and as I grow, as colors run out, I will then go and buy more polish. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? It is. Like my green goes out, and so I'm like, okay, well, I saw this girl use this really pretty green Madame Glam bottle, so I'm going to go buy that. I saw somebody else use that really pretty D&D sparkle, so now that my glitter's out, I'm going to go buy that. So it's just one of those things where I decided in myself that Beatles was going to be fine as long as I had my good tips. And as I grew, as my business kept going, and as I was getting more money, I would then buy different polishes. So you have your beginning stages, you have your budgeting and plan for budgeting. So like I said, I'm going to get this $60 thing with 60 different polishes in it, colors in it, and as they go, I will buy more. After I did that, I then had to realize that your first year, maybe even 2 years, you're not going to really make a profit off of your business, especially if you're starting from scratch like me. I had no desk. I literally went to Michael's. I got this little like wood thing that was like for wood carving, and I got some beads for your hair, and I hot glued those things onto this piece of wood, and then I got some putty, I think, and I was using Amazon tips, and I put wait, was I using putty? I don't even think I was using putty. I may have been using tape. Okay, I may have been using literal scotch tape, and I like rolled it on my finger so it stuck together. I didn't even have double-sided tape, and I put that on top of that bead, and I put my nail on it, and that's how I started my first business of press-ons. So, and I was using lacquer polishes. So I had no gels, I had no lamp, I had no stands, I had no tips. Y'all, I started from literal scratch. Literal scratch. So this is all coming from having to set aside a budget, obviously, because I was blessed enough with the whole COVID thing, and then the stimulus checks and things. My husband and I got one, and because at that point I wasn't working, my husband was, I had all this money that I was like, I'm going to go ahead and just invest it into my business. I bought this laptop. Okay. I'm an Apple girl. I love me some Apple. Okay. Apple phone, Apple Watch, Apple headphones, iPad. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. I have to use a Dell computer for work. I just can't. Windows is a no for me. But Apple girly. I bought this iPad. This computer. I bought the Prey tips. I bought a lot of stuff, and I invested it into my business to get started. And then after I invested it, I had to then realize, okay, I invested this, and now as my business grows, I'm going to have to switch things out, keep getting things up and running. And I rebranded myself 3 times. And so that meant buying new cards 3 times. That meant buying new boxes 3 times, um, and things like that. So, my suggestion to you is if you're going to rebrand, make it, um, make a plan for it because, like I said, I started like with just pink being my thing, and then I decided I don't want pink anymore. I want pretty, like it to look like the rest of my house, which is very earth tone, very neutral, everything else. Um, so it matched, so I could like go anywhere and like it would match. And I was just like, that's just not me for this nail stuff. Like I did the neutral, so my husband didn't think he was living in Barbie's dream house, but I can make Barbie's dream house for my business because it's me. It's girly. It's nails. So I added pink back. Um, but making a plan, knowing why you want to use the colors, knowing why your your name is what it is. Um, I started off my first business was On Point. I love that name. Um, but I also wanted my nails to have my name in it. Um, so that way people just knew like, okay, I'm doing my nails by Michaela, or I have nails by Michaela, nails, and not I have On Point nails, which that sounded cool. My nails are on point. I just feel like that was like old, like people said that, oh, that's on point. I don't know. I sound old. Anyways, just knowing why you have your name the way it is, and um, your colors the way you have your colors and things like that. Um, so that would be starting up the business. During the business, I say having people that you can look up to and people that are working beside you. That is one of those things that I am so thankful for. I have just watched a lot of Dippy Cow Nails, and I was a part of her press on portal for a while. Uh, I'm not, as I was saying in the beginning, there was things I had to let go of, and that was one of them. But she is amazing. If you are not a part of her press on portal and you are a press on artist, I highly suggest it. She has so much knowledge, and she's been doing press ons for um, over 7 years. Like, it is amazing to watch and seeing her growth and seeing how she started in this press on game before press ons was as highly saturated as it is. And it's just really awesome. So, having somebody that you can look up to and talk to and um, bring your ideas to, and she can be like, that won't work, or that's a good idea if that's what works for you. But she also was like, not making you do what she does for her business. She's saying you do what works best for you, like I'm saying to you now. And then having somebody like beside you, like a BFF, bestie, you want to have that. I love that I have someone that I can bounce ideas off of, and I can, um, like talk to, and we can like, I don't know. It's like one of those things where you don't think you need it until you have it. And then it's like, if I didn't have her, I don't know where I'd be. You want to make allies in this business. Me as a person, I don't do drama. Now, don't get me wrong. I like to listen to it. I like to watch it. I like to see what's going on. But don't bring it my way. I will not entertain it one bit. I will not say anything about it. I will not talk about it on social media. I won't do anything because I just don't want it my way. My business is strictly professional, and I feel like getting into drama and getting into things is unprofessional. And it's one thing to stick up for what you're believing in and addressing wrongdoings, but then keeping it going is like, you need to calm down. You really need to calm down. Stop getting into the drama. This is a business, not high school. And so that's me as a person. And so as me as a person going into this business, knowing, hey, I have allies in here that are going to build me up and strengthen me, but I'm not going to trust everybody who walks through the door and says, hey, let's be besties. Like, I'm not going to trust everybody like that. So you have to be strategic in who you're talking to. I'm glad this podcast is almost over. You have to be strategic in who you're talking to and making sure that your people are going to build you up and they're not trying to do things behind your back and trying to beat you to things. It's not a competition. It's not a competition. And it's not, if you make this a competition, you're going to lose out on a lot of money, a lot of clients, and you're going to end up failing because doing business is not a competition at all. So I just want to leave that where it is with you today and just say it's not a competition. Plan, make sure you're doing things the way you want them to be done. And I believe that all of you are going to succeed in everything that you do, as long as you are putting your hands to it. I don't think that there's anything that can stop it. So with all that being said, I thank you guys for watching, and I hope that I can be a little bit more diligent and not so all over the place, and have a consistent schedule for you for the rest of the year. But with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Remember to stay cozy and to keep your nails fancy, and I'll see you in the next one.